Hello, everyone. To support World Lymphedema Day and Lymphedema Awareness Week, I asked 5 of our members from Lymphedema United 2 questions to explain the effect the disease has had on their life, and also to promote or provide a top tip to help others to live better with lymphedema. And today's guest is the lovely Graham, the amazing Graham, whose lymphedema journey started shortly after having surgery for aggressive prostate cancer. Graham shares his story with complete openness and frankness on the Meet the Members section of the Lymphedema website. So I in particular urge every man to read it. So jump onto the website, meet the members, click on Graham, and read this incredible story. So Graham, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk to you and your members as well. Thank you very much, Matt.
We appreciate all your support as well, Graham. So let me first start with the first question then. How does lymphedema or living with lymphedema affect your life?
Well, that is a big question in a way, and one that particularly as I started my journey wasn't particularly in my focus, particularly as cancer was my predominant concern and worry. And I guess, like so many other members, particularly those with secondary lymphedema, the concern of lymphedema is very insignificant at that early stage. And to be honest, I didn't really understand the consequences of it. But as time went on, I started to learn quite a lot and realized that lymphedema was as important as my cancer. And as I've often said to people, when they tell me or to talk to me about the cancer, I say, ironically enough, it's the lymphedema that causes me more concern on a daily basis than my cancer does. Wow. And I'm not alone on that, I believe. And so the journey throughout has been frustrating, emotional, and at times, you feel like you're banging your head against a brick wall because you just don't know where to turn for help and advice. My lymphedema is in my pubic area and now into my upper thighs. And I've been told by many people that this is one of the most difficult areas to treat, mainly because compression is so difficult in that area. Whereas on a limb, such as an arm or leg, you've got that bone structure that runs through there, which is easier to compress. And I can share with your members and everyone else who's watching this video, I mean, the struggle I've had to try to get compression that has supported, if you like, and controlled my lymphedema in that area, as well as make it comfortable to wear throughout the day, has been a big challenge and continues to be to a point. But thankfully, through your website, through your guidance, I've met, and through your lymphedema golf event last year, I was able to meet such wonderful people from many, many of the companies, manufacturers of compression garments. And they've been able to help me, guide me, and use me, if you like, as a potential template going forward with future designs. I don't have the total solution still to this day on treatment and how to control my lymphedema in those areas. But what I can say to members is that I've been given lots and lots of support and help. And we are getting towards hopefully a garment or garments that will help control that. But it's not just about compression. It's much more than compression. The frustrations that sadly we all have with living with lymphedema are there on a day-to-day basis. And I think it's an important aspect for those who are starting off on this unfortunate journey, whether that's a primary lymphedema patient or sufferer or a secondary one. We are all living the same concerns and worlds, and we are all helping each other to, if you like, go forward together. So yeah, so my personal way now to look at things is to keep trying, keep engaging with those professionals, particularly those in the manufacturing of compression garments, if they can. But I also would say to a lot of people, just don't stop at your 2 garments a year or 2 garments every 6 months from your potential lymphedema team that you are issued. Push hard, make sure those garments are right for you. Because I certainly, in the start of my process, I was provided garments that, quite honestly, I look back, they were no good for what I was trying to achieve. But sadly, they were the standard, if you like, product off the shelf, if you like, from the lymphedema team. So yeah, it's an on, you know, and as we know, it's a one that we all naturally worry about. I worry about, because physically being active, doing bits and pieces on a day-to-day basis is so important to me, and to lose that gives me great concern. And so hence why I've tried to do all I can possibly do to stop the progression of the condition. So
you're very active, aren't you, Graham? Very active.
Yeah, I'm active. I mean, I used to be a runner quite often, which was great. I found sadly that that's more limited now, because the lymphedema does have an impact on me. But also, I do have to acknowledge that I'm getting older, and therefore my knees may not be so good for running after all. But I certainly try to take out activity as often as I can on a daily basis. I play golf twice a week, not very well, but I do play it. And so, and I do believe that activity is absolutely paramount. It certainly is for me, because the connection between my condition and my mental health is all about balancing. And so when I can be active, my mental health is good. If I can't be active, then obviously that naturally has an impact on my mental health.
And already, just talking to you now, Graham, you've provided the balance between the journey and the solutions that have worked for you, and included within that were a couple of good tips already, including to start talking directly with the manufacturers of the garments, the suppliers, and use your I suppose your active life as the sort of balance for good mental health, as well as you know, it working for the lymphatic pumping to get that fluid moving around your body. So already there's been a couple of really credible tips. Thank you. But what top tip would you give to help others to live better with lymphedema?
Well, I've got quite a lot of tips, but
I know.
My top tip, it's probably easy to say be positive, because that's a difficult one. But I think my top tip is, sadly, because of the systems that are supporting lymphedema are somewhat stretched, as is the NHS generally, I would say consider and make sure you take on that proactive approach to lymphedema. Self-management of your condition is, in my opinion, really, really important. So, for example, skincare. You know, it's available to us all. Thankfully, there are elements of the skincare products that you can get on prescription, but then there are additional ones that you may have to purchase. But for me, skincare was not even in my thought process before I had this condition. You know, moisturizing my legs, never in my lifetime had I ever moisturized my legs. But now I use that on a daily basis, and you know, I use a prescription moisturizer along with an additional one that I purchased to do that, and I certainly believe that has helped maintain my condition, certainly stopped it deteriorating. So that potentially is a huge tip. As I say, I've probably got many others, but for me, I think that's a top tip. Be positive, but also consider that self-management of your condition. Don't just rely on the services, because sadly they probably won't be sufficient. But with your own self-care management, then I think there's a lot of benefits going forward for yourselves. And as I say, that's how I see it. So definitely my top tip, yeah, be positive, but skincare management.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much, Graham. And it's a great tip. And just to expand on that, on the Lymphoedema United website, there's a section under the information tab called Looking After Yourself, and it includes comprehensive information about skincare, compression, massage, and a healthy lifestyle, which are the 4 cornerstones of looking after lymphedema, as I'm sure everybody knows by now. It's drummed into us from day one, but all of the information there is written by medical professionals and professors, so do jump onto the website to have a look at that. So thank you, Graham. And whilst you're on the website, click on Meet the Members, click on Graham's picture. It's an incredible story. It's quite moving. As I said, men, we need to read it. It could be any one of us. And that's the sort of scary part, if I can use that dramatic word, Graham. It could be any one of us. If you're not a member of the website to read Graham's story, it's completely free. Sign up. Just your name, your email address gives you access to all the behind the scenes members benefits and much, much more. So Graham, thank you so much for supporting us and supporting Lymphoedema Awareness Week. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak with you. And I look forward to seeing you soon at the Golf Day in June. And in the meantime, keep well, sir. Keep well.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you so much for all you're doing for us as well. It's behind the scenes to help people like me. So thank you.
That's an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure.